If you are trying to build or rebuild your credit for 2021, then these are going to be the 3 best secured credit cards to help you along your credit journey. Each of these cards offers one or more unique features that makes these cards stand out from amongst their peers. And at that point, it's up to you to determine which key features you find most beneficial based on your particular set of circumstances. So the number 1 card on this list is not necessarily better than the number 3 card on this list. Each one of these cards is fantastic. They're just fantastic for different reasons. So be sure to stay all the way to the end of the video and find out which one works best based on your particular given set of circumstances. All right, so let's not waste any more time. Let's jump straight into the good stuff with number 3 on our list, the Capital One Secured Mastercard. Now, this card does not charge an annual fee, but it does have a relatively high 27% interest rate. But that's honestly pretty standard for credit builder cards, some of these secured credit cards. But what makes this credit card so great is that with most secured credit cards, your initial security deposit is equal to the amount of credit line that they give you. So if you give them a $200 security deposit, they're going to give you a credit card with a $200 limit. You give them $500, they're going to give you a card with a $500 limit, etc. But what if you don't have $200? Because that's realistically the lowest security deposit that any of the cards have. Except for this one. You see, with the Capital One Secured MasterCard, once they run your credit score, if your credit score is decent enough, you're going to be charged one of 3 different security deposits. If your credit score is somewhat decent, they're only going to charge you $49 as a security deposit. If it's a little less decent, $99. And if it's not very good at all, $200. But regardless how much they charge you for your security deposit, whether it's the $49, $99, or $200, whichever one they charge you, you're still going to get a credit limit of $200 on your account. So if they only make you pay a $49 security deposit, you're still getting that full $200 of a credit line. So this can be a fantastic option for people that don't have a whole lot of money readily available to pony up for that security deposit. You can get into this game for potentially as low as $49. In addition, after 6 months of responsible use and on-time payment, Capital One will evaluate your current situation and see if they can't increase your credit limit even further. And as a side bonus, they will monitor your overall credit score and progress. And if they feel that they can upgrade you to an unsecured version of this credit card, then they will do that automatically and they will refund that security deposit back to you while they transition you to an unsecured version of the same credit card. Number 2 on the list is going to be the Discover It Secured Credit Card. Now, just like the previous credit card, this card does not charge an annual fee, and it has a little bit lower interest rate, roughly 23%, which is still high, so always make sure that you pay your bills in full, on time, every time. But one of the great features about this particular card is that this is one of the few secured credit cards that actually offers cash back. This card offers 2% cash back on all gas station purchases and all restaurant purchases up to $1,000 per quarter. And you also earn 1% cash back on all other purchases. And like all other Discover credit cards, they offer cashback match for your first year, where they will double however much money you accumulated in cashback at the end of a 1-year billing cycle. So realistically, for the first year, you're getting 4% cash back on all gas station and dining purchases and 2% cash back for everything else during that first year. So not only is this one of the only secured credit cards that offers some sort of a reward structure, but the rewards is actually pretty decent, all things considered, especially during that first year. Now, like most secured credit cards, the minimum deposit is going to be $200 for the Discover It secured card. But after 8 months and every month thereafter, they will automatically go in and see what your credit score is looking like, and they will try to graduate you to an unsecured version of this credit card. So not only is Discover going to be checking up on your credit scores every month as they try to graduate you from a secured credit card over to an unsecured credit card, but they also want you to have access to your credit scores as well. So they're going to give you free access to your credit scores. So that way you can keep track and monitor your progress along your credit journey. And they also don't charge any late fees on your first late payment. But come on guys, let's be real here. You're trying to build your credit score. You should not be having late payments on these secured credit cards. That defeats the whole purpose of trying to get these cards and trying to improve your credit score. So make sure you set everything up on auto pay each and every month. And lastly, number one on the list is going to be the Chime Credit Builder credit card. Now, this credit card works fundamentally different than all of the other secured credit cards on the market. So I debated whether or not to even include it in this list or not, because realistically, it's not a secured credit card. The Chime Credit Builder card is honestly, at least in my opinion, the evolution of the secured credit card. In a lot of ways, this Chime credit card is universally better than a lot of secured credit cards. Because one thing that we all hate about secured credit cards is the actual security deposit. You gotta deposit at least $200 into this account, and then when your bill comes due, you can't use that $200 to pay off your bill. You gotta pay that with additional money. So you're basically locking away your security deposit and not able to touch it. And that can be problematic for a lot of people because you might not have $200 or $500 to just lock away for a year or so into your security deposit. But the Chime card does things a little bit differently. So first and foremost, there's no credit check involved. That's right, they're not going to do a hard inquiry on your credit score. So that's going to be nice for a couple reasons. Because one, that hard inquiry is not going to show up on your credit report. It's not going to ding your credit score by a couple of points and temporarily lower your credit score just by applying for this credit card. And number two on that is that since they're not going to run your credit score, you can't be turned down for this credit card because you have a low credit score, because they're not even going to check your score. So pretty much as long as you have an income and a pulse, you will be approved for this Chime Credit Builder card. Now the way it works is this card actually functions a lot more like a debit card than a traditional secured credit card. And what I mean by this is when you apply for this Chime Credit Builder account, you're also going to get set up with basically a savings account. And so what you're going to do is you're going to put money into this Chime savings account, and then they're going to give you this credit card. Now it is a real credit card. It reports to all of the three major credit bureaus, Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion, just like any other credit card would. But realistically, even though it's a credit card, it functions like a debit card because the credit limit available on this credit card is going to be however much money you have in your Chime savings account. So let's say that you put $100 into your Chime savings account and then you rack up $50 in debt over the course of the month on this credit card. Now at the end of every month, you don't even have to pay anything. They can just simply take that $50 out of your Chime savings account and use that to pay off your credit card. So you don't even have to mail them a check or set up automatic deposits or anything like that. The money can be automatically taken out of your savings account. That means you can never have a late payment because they're going to take the money out for you and pay off your credit card bill in full. And since you're paying off your bill in full every month, you're never going to be charged any interest because you are always going to be paid in full. So at the end of that month, you would have $50 left over in your Chime savings account, and let's say that you put in $200 additional into that account. Well, now your credit limit on your Chime credit card is going to be $250, the $50 that you had left over from the previous month and the $200 that you just put in for this month. So your credit limit is always going to be fluctuating based on how much money you have in your Chime savings account. And that can be great for a couple of reasons, because with most secured credit cards, if you're trying to make a big purchase, let's say you want to go out and buy a laptop because you need something for college, then that can be difficult to buy on a traditional secured credit card because most secured credit cards, your credit limit is pretty low. It's whatever you posted as your initial deposit. So maybe like $200, which means that if something costs more than $200, you cannot use your credit card in order to make that purchase. But with the Chime Credit Builder credit card, your credit limit is always fluctuating. So if you want to go out and buy a laptop, just put in a couple $100 into your Chime savings account, and that's going to increase your available credit on your Chime credit card, and then you can go out and make that purchase. So essentially, the Chime credit card combines the best of both worlds. It improves your credit score just like any normal credit card would. It eliminates all of the late payments and late fees and interest rates and all that kind of stuff, because automatically your bill is going to be paid in full at the end of every month. They're just going to take money out of your savings account to pay off your credit card. So this credit card works a lot more like a debit card than an actual credit card. And they are not going to run your credit check, so it's not going to ding you with a hard inquiry. If you found this video useful, be sure to subscribe, leave a comment down below. I love hearing from you guys. Give it a thumbs up for the YouTube algorithm. So if you're interested in learning how to earn more, spend less, and invest the difference, then I'll see you all again next time.